7.5 is a betting style card game. It's originally from Italy, and it's most often played by friends and families during big gatherings such as Christmas. The game uses a 40-card Italian-style card deck, or a 52-card poker deck with the 8s, 9s, and 10s removed. You also need tokens to stand in as casino chips. You can use small coins or food items. 7.5 can be played with as few as 2 people, although it's typically played with many more. 7.5 is very similar to blackjack. Their goal is to have a higher valued hand than the dealer without going over 7.5. Each card is counted at face value from ace to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. However, all face cards have a value of half a point. Players pick a dealer for the first round. The dealer shuffles the cards, and the player to their left cuts them. Each player begins with the same number of betting tokens. Before play, all players agree on a minimum and maximum allowed bid. Typically, games begin with 1 token as the minimum and 3 as the maximum. After a certain time, those numbers are usually raised. Each player puts their bid in front of them and separate from the rest of their tokens. The dealer, however, does not make a bet. Counterclockwise, the dealer deals one and only one face-down card to each player. Players want to have card values as close to 7.5 without going over. The player to the right of the dealer chooses to either stick with their hand or ask for a hit, which means receiving another card face up from the dealer. If they take another card, that card is dealt face up. The player adds the sum of that card and their previous together. If they're satisfied with this sum, they can let play pass to the next player. If they want another card, they can ask the dealer to hit them again. You can keep taking cards as long as the sum isn't over 7.5. If the sum of these cards is over 7.5, they've gone bust and must announce that to the table. They're out and their bet goes to the dealer. Unlike blackjack, the dealer wins all ties, unless a natural 7.5 was played. A natural 7.5 is when a player has just 2 cards which add up to 7.5. This is unbeatable and the dealer must give them double the amount they bet. If no one gets 7.5, deal stays with the current dealer. If a player gets 7.5, they become the next round's dealer. If more than one player gets 7.5, the last player to get 7.5 is the next round's dealer. As the game progresses, you should be allowed to bet more tokens. The game continues until there is one player left standing. Winner takes all. If a player has exhausted all of their tokens, they're out of the game, and they can only come back in if another player loans them some of their tokens. 7.5 is meant to be a social game. Remember to have fun, don't be a sore sport, and if they're edible, share your earnings. Was this too fast? Don't worry, I have a longer video with the complete rules and some playthrough. See you next time on Playing Games.